Use code Proxidist for 20% off any tub at G Fuel. 100%ing a game and getting that little Steam ribbon on your profile or the platinum trophy popping up is probably one of the best feelings ever, but it can also be the opposite of that. Like, it can be a moment where you realized, damn, I wasted my time. And now this heavily depends on the game and what is required of you to 100% it. I've talked about both types of games when it comes to achievements, you know, games that are an absolute blast to 100% and games that were a miserable slog to 100%. But instead, I wanted to find a middle ground and talk about games that I gave up trying to 100%. Games that were so miserable to trudge through to get 100% that I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to waste my time with it. And this isn't just games that are inherently bad. A lot of the games I'm going to be talking about are games that I adore, that I just cannot bring myself to 100% because the idea of going through those achievements makes me think that I would change my opinion on the game after doing so. I don't want to ruin my experience with some of these games. And the first one I want to talk about is Final Fantasy 16. I am one of the few people who absolutely glaze Final Fantasy 16, but the 100% for this, especially on PC, is just, good God, no. I'm just not doing it. Fuck that. Full disclosure, I'm not talking about the PlayStation Platinum here. I feel like the PlayStation Platinum is fairly doable, but on Steam, it doesn't separate the DLC achievements from the main achievements, which makes things about 20 times more infuriating when a game has a New Game Plus achievement that requires you to go through the entire game again. It doesn't help that it's a JRPG that's like 60 hours long. Oh, and also, you gotta do it on the hardest difficulty. Oh, and you also have to do the DLCs on the hardest difficulty. You have to defeat the bosses on the hardest difficulty. One of them being a pretty tough boss already on normal. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with Final Fantasy 16. It's my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. I'm gonna be completely honest, but I think I would genuinely hate the game if I even attempted to get these achievements, because even I can't deny there are some sections that drag in this game, and I cannot bring myself to go through them again, as well as deal with overly strong enemies with even bigger health bars than they already have. Because it's an RPG game. I cannot bring myself to do it. I don't think I'll ever bring myself to do it. And I'm okay with that, because it means that I still like Final Fantasy 16.
The only fantasy here is yours. And we shall be its final witness.
And the same goes for Resident Evil Village. Now, I got extremely close to 100% in this game pretty soon after the game launched. Like, I beat it on Village of Shadows, I did it knife only, I got all the collectibles, I got all the letters, I did all of that. But I was missing one achievement that I just could not be arsed with. And that was getting an S rank on every single map on Mercenaries. I just couldn't be bothered. I think I'd burnt myself out way too much in the game getting all the other achievements, because I did all of it within like a week. I had a lot of spare time back then. I was a university student. I wasn't employed. I missed those days. But I think it just got to a point where I was like, I'm kind of fed up with this game. I'm fucking sick of this. And the idea of even booting up Mercenaries mode, just, nah, fuck that. I could not be bothered with that shit. I like you, Resident Evil Village, but I don't like you enough to put myself through that shit. I've also heard a few horror stories about how it's kinda annoying as fuck. I have a friend, a colleague at work who actually did platinum Resident Evil Village, and he even said the Mercenaries mode achievement was the hardest achievement. It's harder than Village of Shadows, the hardest difficulty, and it's harder than knife only. So yeah, even now I cannot be bothered with it. It also doesn't help that they added a DLC to the game which added a few more achievements that requires me to beat that on hard, and even more mercenary mode achievements where you play as the bosses now. I just can't be bothered. Genuinely, it's not a fun idea for me. So that game's just never going to be 100%ed. Resident Evil 4 Remake was fun though. That was a good 100%. Even with the Separate Ways DLC, it was a good 100%. I'm just never going to 100% Resident Evil Village. Now, the next game I want to talk about, I gave up trying to 100% pretty quickly, and that's Red Dead Redemption 2. Do I even really need to go into why I didn't want to 100% this game? I mean, it is a massive game. Just the 100% completion achievement alone is just, it's not worth doing. Like, you go around picking about 80 million fucking plants, you're looking for certain animals to skin, certain special 3-star rarity birds that have a small chance of spawning. It's just not fun. I don't understand why anyone would even put themselves through this. In fact, I'm actually going to question my girlfriend. She 100%ed Red Dead Redemption 2 recently. It took her about 5 days of playtime, and I don't know how she did it. I don't know how the fuck she could bring herself to do that. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game. It's an amazing story, but the side content's pretty fucking boring, I can't lie. I don't want to go around picking plants for 5 hours. Like, I got better shit to do, like playing Dead by Daylight. I did get a bit into it though. Like, you know, I got some of the Red Dead Online achievements, which are required. I even got to level 50 in Red Dead Online, which I don't know why I did, because Red Dead Online is complete and utter dog shit, but I have that achievement, and it just all for nothing because I'm never going to 100% this game, so there's really no point. I cannot be bothered with it. Great game, terrible 100%. I mean, it's pretty infamous within the 100% community for a very good reason. The next game I want to talk about is another game that I absolutely love that I just cannot bring myself to 100%, even though I got really close to doing so, and that's Devil May Cry 5. The Devil May Cry games are pretty infamous for their 100%. First of all, you gotta beat the game on Dante Must Die mode, which Devil May Cry 5 is probably the easiest Dante Must Die mode. I didn't have much trouble with that. The main problem lies with the easy mode, which is weird to say, but it ties into the get an S rank on every mission, on every difficulty achievement. Because getting the high ranks on the easiest difficulty is pretty tough in Devil May Cry, because enemies die way too quickly. Now, to get a high rank, you need to get a good combo in combat encounters, and you can't do that when enemies die in 2 hits. Like, it's possible, but I don't even want to try. I can't be bothered. Also, the difficulty, which is called like Hell in Hell or something, you die in 1 hit and the enemies don't. It's literally the Evil Within Akumu, but in Devil May Cry. Yeah, I can't be bothered with that shit. Call me lazy, call me a loser, I just cannot be fucked with it. Speaking of, Dead by Daylight. I tried to 100% Dead by Daylight, which is pretty insane. I have some of the worst achievements in that game. I actually put myself through hell. I have the RPD achievement, and if you play the game, you know exactly the one I'm talking about. The one where you had to escape RPD 20 times, a map that has a random chance of appearing, and you had to be the one that opened the gate and leave. You had to do that 20 times, and I have that achievement. I can't be bothered with it. It requires you to play as some killers that I'm so shit at. I cannot play the game as Nurse. I'm shit with Huntress, and don't even get me started with Hillbilly. I cannot play the game as Hillbilly for the life of me. I like playing Dead by Daylight. I hate to say it, it's a dog shit game. And I did put in a fair shot with trying to 100% it. You know, I got fairly far into it. I still try and get the achievements every now and then. I have every single Adept achievement for the Survivors, which, you know, is nothing to sneeze at. It's a pretty good accomplishment, but yeah. It's also a live service game, so they constantly add new achievements almost all the time. So sometimes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and think, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I wasting my life with this shit? An honorable mention is Dead Space Remake. I just can't be bothered with the impossible mode achievement on that as well. But yeah, there are some games I gave up trying to 100%. Now, you're probably expecting me to talk about The Evil Within 1 here and go on one of my little glaze sessions, but I want to be real with you guys right now. That bit is getting a bit old. As much as I do love the game and I wish I could talk about it forever, there's only so many times I can talk about how it's the best game ever made, and sometimes it feels kind of shitty, especially in a review that I've been provided like a review copy for at the end, being like, oh, this game's worse than The Evil Within. Maybe it might be worse than The Evil Within, but it feels disrespectful to do. So I'm gonna stop putting in as much glazing towards The Evil Within at the end of videos, but to make up for this, I'm gonna be playing a game with you all. In every single video from here on out, I'm gonna be hiding an image of The Evil Within in a section of the video, and you guys gotta spot it. You gotta try and spot it. You gotta try and see that shit, and I'm gonna try and hide it the best I can. Sometimes it will be blatantly obvious where it is, but sometimes it will be in the corner of your eye and it will be a blink and you miss it type situation. I just think it'd be very fun. It's just a very fun way of incorporating the evil within. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I couldn't have done this without my Patreon supporters. That being Nintendo Pro, Profit, Ryan IDC, Pitstab, Bouncer Storm Productions, and Daniel Levchenko. And a huge thank you to my channel members, that being Platesfly8362, Liam Talks About, Chowder1326, OllyCuz1, Marshallah4566, Marcus Platts, Joshua Whitford 5509, Evan Underhill 2342, Bidu for Doom, Gabriel Padro 5589, Scary 1407, Eteria Sigma, Eggy 613, Wentel, Riff King 66, Dizrays 3250, Sobitax, Andreas Stewart 8871, Galaxy 11243, Glusky 36, Flody 38, Wolfborn TV, Rust on Wood, L Hayes 117, also known as some balding guy rambling into the void, Griefgar, and Resistance Line. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I will see you all in the next video.